Will it ever be done that Golden Boy and Top Rank will meet together and they will make a solid fight between two, I mean, they're smaller opponents, you know, they're 120 some pounds, between Abner Mares and Nonito Donaire? Will it happen?
I do not believe so. I'd like to see it happen. I'd like to see both Top Rank and Golden Boy put aside their differences, even for an evening, but I do not see it happening.
Well, you know what, Robert? That's a freaking travesty. You know, both sides view themselves as a business, and they want to put the best product out there for many boxing fans. How very few of us there are left. With all the controversy, and there's corruption with referees and sanctioning bodies and all these stupid rules with the sanctioning bodies. If they really want to grab a lot of people's attention, granted Abner Mares and Nonito Donaire, maybe outside of the United States, are as big as Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao and among many others. They may not be the biggest names, but it will be a pay-per-view event, and they will get a ton of buys, especially with two foreign fighters, because their respective countries will obviously want to see their prize fighter fight. The fact that, I mean, like, look, you've been around this game for a long time, and you've seen how Golden Boy and Oscar De La Hoya and Top Rank with Bob Arum have kind of fallen apart. For them to not meet and give the people what they want is simply a travesty, in my opinion, Robert. And something has to be done, whether it's through social media or people, you know, fuck it, I'll start a petition. I don't see why not. Because the fact that the sport is dying slowly every single day, and there are other new sports coming in, and I'm not just saying the UFC. The UFC will probably, maybe it already has passed boxing.
I think it comes down to pride. I think it comes down to, I think the animosity between them. And it's hard to know what the root of that animosity is. We know that Arum was De La Hoya's promoter for many, many years, but there is really bad blood between them. And presumably with the possible fight between Mares and Donaire, that Golden Boy had submitted paperwork offering $3 million to Top Rank for this fight to happen. Again, this is all presumably. Top Rank was not happy with what the deal was. There was no date, there was no this, there was no that. So there's no way to know what's really going on. It's hard to know who to blame, except that there certainly is enough blame to go around. These promoters, and it's not just boxing promoters, I mean, there's a huge amount of sort of contempt that audiences are held in by people in power. And I'm afraid that that contempt is really what it is that you're objecting to. We don't know whether it's hatred, we don't know what it is, but I think the contempt is there for all to see.
And, you know, I was thinking through your answer, who else can step up and say something? And the fact that the fighters have said stuff after each of their respective bouts and said, yeah, you know, Abner Mares has basically said, yeah, you know who I want Donaire. I want to fight Donaire. After Donaire's win against Toshiaki Nishioka, he said, no, I want Abner Mares. The fans want to see it. And then the fans started erupting. I mean, it's so blatantly obvious. And if the talking heads can't get it done, I mean, then we should just lose all hope, I suppose.
Well, I mean, boxing is a real sort of, lose hope sport. I mean, fabulous though it is, and again, there's always a fight on the horizon that has the potential to be really dynamic. And again, everybody will say, well, boxing is back because we've seen a fabulous fight. But there is no overriding central body, governing body that can really control the sport. The sport is really controlled by the promoters and by the sanctioning bodies. So it's sort of the wild, wild west. I mean, it is as Jimmy Cannon once described it, the red light district of sport. And that was many, many years ago. And frankly, the brothel is alive and well and open for business.
Let's just say hypothetically that we could make a change. What would it be?
I guess ideally, and this is now not without taking a couple steps back, it would be a federal commission. I mean, something like the NBA or the NFL or MLB. I mean, some sort of governing body that is not necessarily beholden to sanctioning bodies and or promoters, But the government is not going to get involved in boxing. They don't want to touch. They don't want to touch it. I mean, John McCain floats ideas now and again.
No one
Harry
does, though,
Reid.
Robert. No one does. That's the problem. No one does.
They don't want to sully their hands. I mean, their hands are dirty enough if they're not bloodstained. But the politicos don't really want to get involved in boxing. It still generates lots of revenue, which is important to the government, but they don't want to really get involved. I mean, boxing is a sort of a dirty business, a great sport but dirty business, and the government has enough trouble. The government can't even run the post office. How are they going to run boxing?
Also, one thing that I think boxing can take out of the UFC and Dana White's model is mandatory challengers. Now, they have mandatory challengers in each sanctioning body. However, it is so easy to get out of it. If that were to ever happen in the UFC, Dana White would probably ban the guy for like 5 years. I'm sure it's happened before. I'm not huge on the UFC. I'm sure a lot of the UFC fans can leave a comment in the comments section and tell us what has happened or what would happen. However, they need to have this guy's the champion. Here's what needs to happen in order for him to have a challenger. You know, you have 4 guys fight for that one spot, or 2 guys fight, the 2 next best guys for that spot, and then they fight, and then they face the champion. I mean, in my opinion, there's no truer model than what the UFC is putting out there. Granted, it seems like it will never happen in boxing, at least not for at least 40 years, something like that. Don't you think that is the right way to go about it?
Yes, I think it's the right way. Theoretically, conceptually, it is the right way. But the UFC is an autocracy. It's a one-man operation. It's a one-man show. It's like if boxing were run by Joseph Stalin. I mean, that's the kind of thing that would happen, but it's not. I mean, boxing is more democratic. There are many, many promoters. There are many, many sanctioning bodies. There isn't a single figurehead as there is in UFC with Dana White. So what Dana White can accomplish, boxing cannot.
Maybe then that's the change that is needed. Maybe we need one guy to just come in, be the sort of commissioner-like figure in boxing, and just run the whole thing. Maybe that would improve it. However, it remains to be seen. We simply lose hope time and time again after what we want to see will simply never occur, a la Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, probably Nonito, Donaire, Abner. Robert Exel, the editor-in-chief of Boxing.com. You can follow him on Twitter at boxing_com and follow his great writing at www.boxing.com. Thank you so much, Robert. We'll talk to you again soon.